So why is it important to cleanse and eliminate? Why have I called this that? Well, you know, we take our car in for a service, don't we, every year, and we get all sorts of stuff cleaned up and done, and the pipes and all that sort. So why wouldn't we take our bodies in? So why aren't we looking at this kind of thing? Also, bear in mind that your intestines are approximately, I think they're about 5 feet long. So you think about that, right? All intertwined, all inside your stomach. And the food that we eat, how does it get through? How does it get through all of this, and how does it get cleansed? So it's really important, and there's a lot of information out there, so don't just take my word for it. It's really, really important that we cleanse and eliminate. We also know that if things are going wrong in our bodies, or we have problems, it's evident, right? You get things like diarrhea, you get things like constipation and all that. But that's the body telling you that there's something going wrong in the intestines. Also, we also have to ask ourselves, and again, we're not stupid, we talked about this before, but why is there an escalation in things like colon cancers and stomach cancers, right? Why? So we have got to start looking at this, and it's very, very much linked to the diet and everything else. So detoxing, it's not trendy. I know it's become a bit of a trendy type thing, I get it, but detoxing is really important. I absolutely make sure anyway, regardless of before I even got the cancer treatment and the cancer diagnosis, that I detox my body once every year. It was really important for me, and I let that go for quite a few years. Used to be quite a regular thing for me, but for some reason I got too busy and too stressed and too sort of into the whole lifestyle thing, and I didn't do it. So I don't know whether that contributed to my to my diagnosis, but maybe it did. All I would say to you now is that I make sure that at least once a year, in fact I do mine every 6 months, when I was going through my cancer treatment, I actually did it on a very, very regular basis, that I made sure I had colonics and I detoxed and I used juicing to make sure I was getting a lot of nutrients into my body. So it's maybe something that you need to look at. If you're planning on having a break, why not have a holiday where you go away somewhere for 5 days and go on some kind of juicing or detox retreat, okay? Now, you may look at my website. I do run juicing and detox retreats, but you can go anywhere in the world. There's huge amounts of them going on. There's some great places you can go to. I'll be announcing them. I haven't started running them yet, but next year I'll be running them, and I can let you know about those on the website. But all I'm saying is try and make it a regular habit to go on some form of detox. Now, you can also do these at home, right? You don't have to go to an expensive detox spa or a resort. There are lots of books out there where you can actually do this yourself. And if you've got the discipline to do that, then you can. And you can also detox at home. You can go through juicing, and you can also go to a facility where you can have a colonic done under a medical practitioner. So have a look into this whole detoxing thing and try to have a way to cleanse your body, right? Because we're going to put good things in, and we want to make sure that we've cleansed and eliminated and got rid of all the sort of bacteria in our body. So you may have heard, I don't know, you may have heard about intermittent fasting, and you may be asking yourself, what is that? Is that another new fad that's all sort of come about all of a sudden? You may have heard about intermittent fasting, you may have heard about the 5-2 diet and all those kinds of things, and you can have a look at those. And again, I'll share the resource with you and the information in the links provided. Now, I've adopted an intermittent fasting approach, and I'll tell you why, because I have studied it and I've looked at the impact on us at a cellular level in terms of the impact of fasting. I also, when I went through my chemo, and we'll talk about that in the treatment section, I actually did a water fast before, during and after my chemotherapy, and there's a reason for that, and I can share that with you later. But I would say to you that intermittent fasting, right, what is it and how does it work? Well, I tend to eat up to 7 o'clock at night, and then I don't eat again until 11 o'clock the next day. I give myself a window of between 12 to 16 hours for my body to have no food. That doesn't mean to say I don't have any liquids, but I make sure I hydrate. So I'll drink water or herbal teas, or I could even take a clear kind of juice. But I will not eat between 7 and 11 a.m. Now, that's the normal rule. Okay, obviously, if there are events or things going on and you're going to eat beyond that, fine. But if I do eat later, I make sure I give myself at least 12 2 16 hours where I'm not. It's easy to do in the evening because then you're sleeping most of it, you know, hopefully. And then you can get up and not have a huge breakfast. I don't have any breakfast at all. I'll just have a green tea or a smoothie or a juice, and then I will not eat until at least 11 o'clock. And then I will have my main food. So I predominantly eat between 11 and 7. Why? Why is that? Well, you can look at various books. I think a guy called Dr. Mosley has written a very, very good book on it. And there's some other good books on the 5-2 diet. That's significant calorie restriction, and also fasting, where you're not actually taking any food into your body and you're not having that chewing action and you're not producing the enzymes of chewing. Allows your cells to rejuvenate and regenerate. Okay, allows your cells to pop back up. We overeat, actually, predominantly in this culture, particularly in the Western world. And some of the cultures around the world, and you can plot these, there are websites where you can plot around the world the cultures that have kind of the least cardiac disease, cancer, those kinds of autoimmune disease. And they tend to be the ones that eat. And if you look at the Okinawa report and the Blue Zone report, that tend to eat to 80% full, not overeat. And we do have a tendency, I think, in the Western world to overeat, yeah? We fill ourselves up, we keep eating, we don't listen, we don't give ourselves that time and space, and then we've overeaten and it's uncomfortable. And think of the pressure you're putting on your digestive system in terms of processing that, right? So let's see if we can give our bodies a bit of a break. And you might want to have a look at this whole intermittent fasting thing. I certainly used it significantly when I was going through my cancer treatment, and I've adopted it as my protocol now, and I predominantly work on that basis. I feel lighter, I have more energy, my cells are much more rejuvenated, I feel more energetic with it, and I know it's better for my body. So when we're talking about detoxing, we're not just talking about detoxing in terms of the stuff you put into your body, but if you remember one of the 3 factors about sort of the factors around disease, one of those was environment. So don't underestimate the levels of toxicity in the environment. And I'm talking about things like cleaning products and air fresheners and various other things that you're surrounded by. Now, I know you can't do an awful lot about those if you're in a public space. But you can do quite a bit in your own home. So have a look in your own home about some of the chemicals that you're bombarded with. So I had to have a look at things like washing powders, washing up liquids, sprays, cleaning sprays that I use, polishes and things like that. And I've replaced all of mine with eco-friendly products. So I tend to use other sort of things that are non-toxic. And not only is it good for you and your body so that you're not, inhaling some of these chemicals while you're spraying. Remember, you're going to get some of this stuff as you're spraying them. And also they're going on the surface, so that's going to have an impact on you and your skin. If you're washing clothes in a fairly toxic washing powder, that is going into your skin. Stuff goes into your skin topically, yeah? So don't underestimate it. So have a look at those things and replace them if you can with more eco-friendly products. It's not only good for our bodies, it's great for the environment because, we're washing this stuff away into the water system. So it's really good for the environment that we go much more towards eco-friendly products for cleaning. The other thing that's really good to have a look at is your toiletry products. Yeah, you take a shower every day, you have a bath and everything. What are we putting on our skin? Some of the chemicals that we put on our skin, actually, if you look into it, and I'm not going to get into that today, are horrendously toxic. Industrial strength, right? Which is quite shocking. We're putting that on our skin. And we know that what we put on our skin goes into our bloodstream because that's how topical, pain-killing creams work and those kinds of things, right? So let's have a look at those. So I've now started to buy shower gels, soaps, even things like makeup products or creams that you put on your face. I actually predominantly use coconut oil. I don't actually use moisturizers on my skin. I use coconut oil for everything. It's fantastic. I can put it on my hair, on my skin, and all those kinds of things. And I even put it in smoothies and eat it. And I have a whole thing on that on my website. But we've replaced a lot of our products. Now I know that there is a cost implication. We have to look at that, and I'm hoping. If we had a global movement where we're moving more towards those kinds of products, the price is going to come down. We've got to start doing this, guys, right? The only reason they're expensive is because they're in the minority. If we can make this a dominant choice of people who want to buy more. If more people bought products that have no chemicals in them, these products and these prices would come down. So have a look at those kinds of things and be very aware of those toxins that are already in your home. So let's round up the whole sort of detoxing thing. So what are the top tips really for you to start detoxifying? So have a look. Let's have a look at these top tips. So one of the things is, see if you can at least once a year do some form of detox for your body. Yeah, do some form of cleanse if you can. Yeah, it doesn't have to be expensive. Have a look at ways that you can go, even if it's a mini detox, 3.5 days. Fine, that would be a really good cleanse. Just a 3.5 day cleanse would be great for your body. So that's one thing to do. Somebody actually once said to me that what you need to do is do 1 day a week, 1 week a month, 1 month a year. Well, that would be great and that would be perfectly ideal, but we can't always do that, okay? So at least if you could try and, bring it into your lifestyle to do at least a 3.5 day detox, even if it was once every 6 months, if you could do that. Do it with friends, do it with family members, do it together if you can then help each other and support each other to do that, yeah? So that's one thing. Secondly, make sure you're trying to replace as many kind of toxic things that you've got in your environment. So any chemical-based cleaning products, any chemical-based toiletries, see if you can replace those with more natural-based things, yeah? Have a look at what is in the food. So make sure you're not ingesting too many chemicals. My nanny got to 106, bless and was fit as a flea, 106, 2 telegrams from the Queen. Lived on her own, cooked for herself every day. She said to me, I don't know what you're doing with yourselves. I've gone through 2 world wars and I only eat natural food, she said. And I come to the conclusion, because she came from London, she said that if you can't pronounce it, don't eat it. Which I think is pretty simple kind of rule to live by. She didn't have a microwave. She only ate natural food. She lived to 106, fit as a flea. So just make sure you're having a look at some of the toxins that are coming into your body and into your environments. Have a look at those. Make sure you always wash your food and wash your fruits and vegetables before you eat them, to make sure, because even plants and fruits and vegetables that come into your home have predominantly, I would say, being covered in pesticides and some kind of toxins. So just be mindful of that. And just being mindful of any kind of toxicity that's going on in your area as well as your home, okay? And make sure you're drinking a lot of really good water. There can be quite a lot of toxins in water, so where possible, drink mineral water or have a water filter if you can. And they can be quite inexpensive. I have a water filter jug that I keep in my fridge all the time, rather than one of these water filter machines. But whatever your budget is, but try and look at more pure water as well. So there are some really good tips that you can start doing straight away to start eliminating some of those toxins that are coming into your body, your environment and your home.